Hi, welcome to Forage Drops. This is Lilian Silva. I'm the Forage specialist for Clemson Universe, and today I'll be talking about hay storage. So let's get started. So in general, we are going to be looking at the hay season to be between generally, sometimes some years, depending on what you're cutting for hay, you may be able to start in March or April for our general region here in the Southeast. Then we're looking that less having that less cutting around September, October, mid of October, most of the years, just because of the weather change and the temperatures that we're going to be seeing around that time, and also the management that we're going to be doing to have some alternatives to extend the grazing season during fall and month and winter months, which sometimes we may be looking at stockpiling a perennial grass, or just overseeing those stands. So most of the times, the last cutting will be sometime in October for our perennial grass stands. So after we cut, we're going to be working towards getting that material on the proper moisture to bale it for hay. And that drying time will depend on a lot of factors, including the forage species, the weather conditions, and moisture that we're going to have on air and on that forage material as well. And just will be the length of that drying period will be a little different throughout the season. Even the temperature that we have, the air temperature that we have will change. So that really changes the speeds to what that forage that was just harvested will dry on a given period of time. And it's extremely important to be able to get to that range of temperature, of moisture that we are looking for materials that are baled, just because that's going to help with maintaining the quality of that forage, but also avoiding some issues with fermentation and spoilage, and even some other major issues that could happen as far in barns when that forage is baled and then stored with a high moisture. Sometimes that can be a source of combustion in the barn if we're not getting that moisture down to the range that we would like to see. But here today, I want to focus on the storage of those hay bales after you baled. So some factors that we need to consider is that during storage, if we're not storing hay on a proper place, we might see some losses on dry matter and quality. And this will also be a factor of how good of a job we did when we were baling that material. And moisture is going to be a really important factor, as well as the density that we were able to get those bales properly baled. And if we're able to use a stored that has a cover as a barn or some other type of cover, and also be able to not store the bales over the soil directly. Those would be really important factors, because that's going to be affecting the quality in that bale being rained on. It would be making the forage be wet over and over again, and then in contact with soil, it would be exposed to to activate a lot of microorganisms that are in the soil, but also would be incorporating that soil into the bale, into the forage mass there. Dr. Ball, you pay a lot that you're going to pay for a barn, whether you build one or not. And this is a phrase that really stuck with me. And it's important to, especially for this year, just because of the cost of being so high, it's important to see if you can afford, be thinking about building a barn if you don't have one yet. But if you have other options, it's a good option to just think about what could be other resources that we could use to try to maintain the quality of the material that we just harvested. And like I said, if you can avoid having that bale exposed and in contact with soil, this is going to really be important. And I mentioned this on the previous slide, but if we bale the forage too high in moisture, we do need to be thinking about using some additives to and when I'm say too moist is just at 15% uh, cap that we usually are looking for most of the forages, or 18 to some forages percent of moisture, just because we might need to look at an additive, just because it's going to be something that will try to contain the action of some microorganisms that could be fermenting that material and conducting to a risk of combustion, a risk of fire there on those barns, and that will be damaging to the structure of the barn, could become a really uh, uncontrolled fire. So those are this is important to make sure that you're meeting the proper moisture before you move those bales and store them. And with that, I conclude what I had for today. This is my email here on the screen. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'll be glad to reply to you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until the next one.